Welcome everyone. It's the 100th video that I've posted to YouTube. I'm going to teach you a technique using the drumstick that is the end result of moving from shoulder to elbow, wrist, then to fingers, so that you can play with a bit more finesse and play faster than what you could using elbow or shoulder. So in this, what we're going to do is, in this crease in your finger, that first one, you're going to put the drumstick in like that, about 2 inches above the hand, maybe even 3. It's up to you depending on the weight of the drumstick. I'm using 5 AAs. So under the logo, potentially, what we do here is that thumb and finger forms the hinge. These 3 fingers initially will be like a paddle to do this. So the first part of this lesson is just learning how to do that. And we're just hitting the drumstick against that part of the hand just to see. Now, when I was learning this, the drumsticks would fly out that way or flip over the top or just fall straight out of my hand. So work on this. Just doing this for now. Try to keep those 2 fingers from moving up or down and those 3 together, making that paddle to do this. Once you've got that down, 2 different ways. When drummers play the other way, there's the hinge, there's the 3 fingers. So that's what we'll get to by the end of this lesson. There are drummers that play the hinge on the middle finger. That first finger is a guide. So either way you want to play, whichever one seems right, go with it. This is the way I've always played. So hinge at the top, and then you've got the 3 fingers. Now the goal of this is we are using smaller muscles in the hand than what we would in the forearm or the bicep. So we can move quicker, play with more finesse and more speed. So first step, just get some movement using the middle finger. Just like that. Ring finger. Pinky. You can play this a couple of ways. So the pinky finger being the shorter finger can be tough to get strength in there and the reach. So you can use just the middle and the ring finger. So just doing that. Okay, flipping the drumstick back over. Now the reason why we're playing this backwards is so you can practice when you don't have a practice paddle drum kit. And also you get this technique down, you get the finger movements down. What we're going to do is, using that paddle initially of 3 fingers, push the drumstick against your forearm. Once you get that down, just middle finger, ring finger, pinky, back. Once you've got that down, start to bring the angle of your arm up, which will make it more difficult to get that travel to your forearm. You don't have the weight of the drumstick to leverage off until you go pretty much vertically. So if your right hand's your strong hand, learn it there first. Then you learn it on your left hand. Same technique, same principle. And then from there, I'll just offset these a little bit. Play single strokes. From there, play your beat. Then use your fingers. So this is just middle fingers, ring, pinky, back, middle. The benefit of doing this is you can practice anywhere. If you're on the way to a gig or pre or post sound check, you can use this as a warm-up technique, and you can play accents, whatever pattern you want. As soon as you flip the drumstick over, it applies that way. So then your speed will increase as well. Now on the drum, you are going to get the rebound off the drum head. When you do use this finger technique of these three, what happens is, because they're smaller muscles, it is harder to control that rebound off the drum. It is going to shoot the drumstick back up. Many times over, you're going to find that the drumstick will throw off that way, or it's going to throw off through the opening in your hand out that way. You may even drop it straight down again. So practice on the snare drum first. Practice on a practice pad if you can. Then straight onto the normal snare drum head. And work on this and play all of the rudiment patterns. Single stroke roll, double stroke roll, single paradiddle, double paradiddle, triple paradiddle. Then you can play your flams and everything else from there. So remember, we're holding that upside down. Initially, we use 3 fingers to make a paddle. Then we split them up. All right, just getting that technique, not hitting your forearm yet. Just learn that movement. You might find that that drumstick will pop out from there. So you want that in there, not in the middle one, because it won't work. That first crease. So once you've got that down, paddle up to your forearm, and then split the fingers up. Middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, back. Next thing to try is double strokes across the 3 fingers. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And just forwards and backwards. 3s. 4. Now it will jump around sometimes. Alright guys, work on this. Comment below how it's changed your drumming after maybe a week of practicing or a month of practicing. Please comment below any lessons that you would like or any techniques that you'd like explained as well. Applying this technique to the drum kit. So now we move on to the drum kit. We're going to use practice pad for now. We're going to use this technique on this practice pad so that we can get the full rebound off the drum. Remember, we start with just that paddle. Then once you're confident with it, you break it off into the finger technique of those 3 there. What we want to do, singles, just middle finger for now. So what I'm doing, I'm controlling the bounce and that rebound. So I'm not driving too much power through my hand. It's more just controlling the rebound. So that will sound good. Then try ring finger. Then try pinky finger. That'll be a difficult one because it is shorter and has less power. It'll throw the back of that drumstick out. It'll go underneath or it'll go out that way. Middle. Ring finger. Pinky. Ring finger. Middle finger. So just forward and backwards through the 3. Next exercise, bring the left hand in. Now this will be weaker and won't sound the same, so we want to hit exactly the same time. Ring finger, pinky finger. The goal of this, after a lot of practice playing single strokes, you'll notice a drastic change in the speed that you can achieve using this technique instead of using your wrist. You can play fast using your wrists, but once we move it, the pivot point from here to the fingers, means you can play faster for much longer. You've got smaller muscles, so fatigue is much lower. The only problem I could see you encountering, if your technique is slightly under where it needs to be, you may get blisters there, potentially on your thumb. It just depends where that drumstick is. But if that is happening, you're probably holding too tight in here and there, and that's creating that problem. So just controlling the rebound, that's the goal of this. So a good way to apply this to the drum kit is to play it on the hi-hat. You'll hear this technique in a Van Halen song in the Right Here, Right Now concert. Alex Van Halen plays semiquavers on one hand, so on the hi-hat. In the song Right Now, you'll hear him. He'll play it on the hat, and then he plays it on the bell of the ride cymbal. So when you're practicing at home, play on the hi-hat and just practice those movements. Please like and subscribe for more lessons, and please check out my new series of 3-minute drum lessons and also my lessons on Kiss drummers and other songs and drum patterns.